Go.
I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Just jam out in the morning. You just like back in the background going, what? You guys, hello. Happy Wednesday. Is it Dad Joke Wednesday today? It is. We have hit the hump of the week. What? Coming up on the show today, Cory Booker breaks the record for talking a really long time for no reason whatsoever.
No reason.
Representative Banks is based. And an update on the Bill Maher-Trump meeting. All that and so much more. Pregnant pause. You guys can check us out on all the things at www.chicksontheright.com/links. Please find us on all the places. We have a lot of places where you can find us. We're everywhere, you guys. Everywhere. And then click subscribe to this podcast. Please do it. Tell a friend. Also, Aura, it's your shield. Your protective shield like Marvel, so you can stay protected no matter who's watching or trying to get into your stuff or steal your stuff. Visit our sponsor, Aura, at aura.com/chicks to start your 14-day free trial. Do it. Do it today.
I just realized I made a huge mistake.
What'd you do?
Representative Banks is not a representative. He is now a senator. He was a representative, but he is now a senator.
Oh, it's Senator Banks. Sorry.
That's my bad. Is that right? I'm just going to double extra check. Yeah, he's a senator now.
Senator Banks.
He changed into a senator. So producer Val changed the title, the headline on all the things.
Sorry. I get them confused too. Senators and representatives. I mean, they're all kind of the same, right?
Well, they don't think they're the same.
Barbara Boxer would tell you otherwise.
Right. So yeah, Senator Banks, not Representative Banks. So
sorry,
Val,
Senator.
fix that, we would appreciate that. And yeah, sorry, Senator. If you're watching this, we're not trying to demote you in any way.
No,
okay?
No. We would
because
never
we're going to talk about how based he is. We're going to compliment him. So it's we're not trying to do anything negative about Senator Banks. But we'll get to that. We first obviously need to acknowledge the death of Val Kilmer, which is such a bummer, you guys.
I loved him.
Sad about it.
You guys remember him from such things as the volleyball scene in Top Gun. Seriously. And he was great. I really liked him.
I know. I thought he was a really good Batman. I'm not super into the Batman series, but I always thought like he had the good, he just was a good,
he was just a great 80s actor. He was in a lot of great 80s movies. Very hot.
Remember when he did the parody movie of dang it.
She's doing this, you guys. This is me.
Remember?
You guys remember? You remember? Do you guys know what she's talking about? You remember?
What was the funny movie that he made where you guys
He made a lot of funny movies. He did a lot.
I can't remember, but it was like a parody movie, kind of like Airplane, only not Airplane. Do you know what I mean? It was like something like that.
I don't think he was in Young Guns.
Was it called?
I don't think he was in that.
No, I don't. Real Genius is one. Top Secret. Yes, that was the greatest.
My absolute favorite of him was Doc Holliday, and Stone. I'm your Huckleberry. Oh my God, he was.
And you say that all the time.
I say it all the time. He was the best Doc Holliday ever. So great. And he was Jim Morrison. He played Jim Morrison. He was great.
Perfect.
He became him. Yeah.
He died at age 65, not from the throat cancer, but from pneumonia. So it's just super sad. He was
so sad.
He was a great actor. Also, story we told yesterday, we're just doing a little catch-up stuff right now. Story we told yesterday about Virginia Giuffre and her weird Instagram post that she put up, like looking all bruised and talking about how she was in a car accident and in kidney failure and she was dying in 4 days. Turns out she's not dying. I don't exactly know what happened, except that she was in a like a bus hit her car. It only sustained about $2,000 of damage, which honestly for a car is nothing. If you've been hit by a bus, that's no damage whatsoever. And so now, like, the Daily Mail was reporting it was a mistake that she publicly posted that Instagram post, but they're also not accusing her of lying about dying. So the whole story at this point is so bizarre, but I just wanted to give you the update since we did mention that yesterday.
Yeah. So Julie is right. So she lied.
I mean, they're not going to come right out and say that, but it does kind of seem like maybe that's.
I feel like that's not a good thing for her to do, especially if she's accusing people of things that she's accusing them of. It's not a good look to lie about this. Just maybe don't do that.
It's just, it's a bad look. It's a bad look all the way around.
Really bad look.
Today is April 2nd, which means it is Tariff Day. And that's all the tariffs are going into effect today. Preemptively, Israel eliminated all tariffs on U.S. products yesterday. So it's working. We'll see what happens with some of the other countries that they're going to feel the impacts of our tariffs pretty soon.
And they're not
we'll
bitching
see how
about
that
it.
shakes out.
Israel's not. Israel, as far as I know, are they bitching about it? Are they bitching about
I don't know what the private conversations were, but they said, you know what? This is dumb. Let's just not tariff each other. How about that?
Yeah. How about that? Catch me outside.
That's right.
Nobody's bitching about it. So, I mean, it's interesting how that works, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of freak out that just seems to be unnecessary.
Right.
Yes. I mean, will there be potential pain in some higher prices on some things? Potentially. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. I think overall it's going to have a net positive. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Just have a conversation with somebody. Are you screwing me over? Yeah, I'm screwing. Okay. Well, let's maybe just not screw each other over anymore.
That seems like a good plan.
All right, great. Let's shake on it. And it's like,
yeah,
what in the hell? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that if you have a dog or a cat or kitty cat, you should be providing them with this amazing premium nutritional supplement created by the founder of Ruff Greens, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black. It gives your dog or cat all the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, probiotics, and digestive enzymes that they need and that their dry kibble does not give them. Right. This is the green powder for your animals that brings their kibble to life. And you should try it at least for 90 days because you're going to notice some really, really positive impacts in 90 days. That's why Dr. Black is calling it the 90-day challenge, because in 30 days, you're going to see a shinier coat. You're going to see an increase in the energy. By 60 days, your dogs are going to see or are going to have stronger immune systems. There's going to be less shedding. They're going to have improved joint function. And by 90 days, they're going to be digesting better. They're going to have reduced inflammation. Their heart health is going to be improved. So all of these things are changes that you're going to see in your dog just from giving them that green powder that they love. And by the way, I don't know why I put this away. I don't know why I put that away. This is the size that you can get for free. This is a Jumpstart trial bag. You just cover shipping. You can get it for free at Ruff Chicks, RUFF, chicks.com when you use code CHICKS. Doggies. Do it for the dogs. Gonna love it. And they have it for kitty cats too in these nice little individual packets.
Kitty cats. And they have treats. They also have treats.
That's right. That's right. They do. I
love the treats. Oh my God. Theo is obsessed with the treats, especially the dark ones. Oh my God.
Really?
Insane over the treats. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Let's get to some stuff and some things. We're going to kick it off with some good news, bad news that came out of the elections yesterday. Florida Republicans won the special election seat, so that's good. It was expected. Democrats poured like $20 million into a House race there and still lost. But unfortunately, Wisconsin, we did not show out the way that we should have, and we did not win that Supreme Court seat. So it's entirely likely and probable that we're going to lose 2 Republican seats in the House, which means we got a lot of work to do in the midterms. We got to get people out.
Good.
Yeah, that was bad. But there was some silver linings. So the referendum on voter ID passed. It was just approved, which means that now voter ID is the thing in Wisconsin, which is a big win, as Donald Trump tweeted, for Republicans. It's huge. Yeah, I mean, that's, you can't win them all, I guess. And so Elon also retweeted the fact that this issue, it was question 1, which added a voter ID requirement to the state's constitution. It did pass. Elon said that was the most important thing. And I know that that's Elon, just like trying to put a positive on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it is. But that is a positive.
It's hugely positive.
This should be common sense, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you now need more optimism, because I know it really sucks. Like Elon's been talking about it. Elon obviously poured a lot of money into that Supreme Court seat election. And then I saw Anna Navarro tweeting about it this morning going, our billionaire beat your billionaire. And I'm just like, okay, so now it's fine for the left to come out and be happy about billionaires spending money. Yes. Okay. I can't keep up with what they think.
It is because they're hypocrites, as we always say. They're absolute hypocrites. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so Bill Mitchell tweeted out kind of a nice little bit of optimism. He said, don't black pill over this, folks. This was a liberal replacing a liberal on the Supreme Court. It was 4-3 and it is still 4-3. Trump gets people to turn out like no one else can. Brad Schimmel is not Trump. Voter ID won big, and 2026 is forever away in political time. Many things will positively affect the midterms between now and then that will be much more important than this. And I hope that's right. We just have to hope, right?
Yeah. I mean, we keep winning, like in a practical way, because he keeps every day he keeps doing wonderful things for the American people, and he's right. Like 2026 is forever away in political time. It's forever away just in the news cycle time.
Totally. I mean, look at how much happens in 100 days, right?
Right.
Trump's first 100 days have been absolutely chaotic, insane, in a good way.
Look what happens in 3 days.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So one of our BFFs had some analysis about this election in Wisconsin, about everything that happened in Wisconsin and in Florida. And that BFF is Scott Jennings.
Here we go.
And here's why. It's a turnout game. And this is a condition of the Republican Party that is true. We now have a party that's made up of lower propensity voters. They tend not to vote when Donald Trump's not on the ballot. They turn out at lower rates, especially when elections are happening at odd times. And this is an issue the party's going to have to grapple with. Democrats have these higher propensity voters who turn out for everything. And I think it creates a mirage of what you just said, that maybe people are switching. I don't think they're switching. I just think the highest propensity voters are turning out. Democrats have a few more of those right now. I mean, that having been said, my advice to House Republicans right now is eat healthy, get on your treadmill. Try not to die if you live in a district that's any worse than either of these two between now and next November, or at least now in this summer when we got to pass a reconciliation bill, because it's thin margins. But the Republicans, I think, are going to hold this thin margin and hopefully hold it long enough to get Donald Trump's legislative agenda across the line.
I mean, it's great advice.
Don't die. Just if you could just not die.
Just don't die. Get on your treadmill. Eat healthy and don't die.
I mean, it's not terrible.
Take your healthy self. Take your healthy self.
That's right. That is right. So yeah, it was a mixed bag last night in terms of results, and we just gotta keep on keeping on, right? Keep on telling people to vote. Talk about midterms incessantly until people are driven so crazy about it that they're going to say to us, oh my God, just to get you to shut up, I'm going to go vote in the midterms.
Right. Just be annoying until they get up and go.
That's right. Okay, so let's get to Cory Booker, he beat the record for the longest Senate floor speech. That's literally all he accomplished was breaking of a record. Right. So he stood for 24 hours and some minutes, 19 minutes, something like that. Just long enough essentially to break the record, which seems to be all this was about. He claims that he did not wear a diaper. He was not cathed. He says he literally just did not go to the bathroom for 24 straight hours. Do you believe it? Because I don't.
No, I don't believe that.
There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way.
There's
no way.
And if he did do that, that's gonna make you sick, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't believe it.
No, I don't believe a word of that.
I don't either. It just makes zero sense to me.
No.
But that's what he claims. And here he is about, I want to say this was around 13 hours in when he started to like literally start going crazy. Like his eyes did the thing where it was so rabid looking.
Oh my
Here's
God.
just a tiny little piece of it.
You are somebody that is a hero who folks don't know their name in the countries that you've affected with your strength on foreign policy. Dear God, my friend, I yield the floor for a question while retaining the floor.
I asked my friend.
Excuse me, I'm going to say that correctly. I yield for a question while retaining the floor. I do not yield the floor.
I asked.
Stop. I know. I'm not saying that they should have mandatory drug testing in the Senate, but I'm not saying it either. Because you guys, look at him.
I mean, he could have maybe not drank anything for 24 hours before, but like,
there's
I
no
just
way.
can't. There's no way.
People are saying this is why he's full of shit.
Literally.
I know, right? I love it.
So the way that it ended was so freaking over dramatic and like so over the top that I had to share this with you. This is like the last few seconds essentially of his 24-hour run. And by then, all of his little happy colleagues were there to cheer him on. And then they acted as though he had done something absolutely heroic. I see a lot of people on X today calling him a hero for simply talking for a really long time. Here is the very end.
Our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. We need that now from all Americans. This is a moral moment. It's not left or right, it's right or wrong. Let's get in good trouble. My friend, Madam President.
Oh my God.
I yield the floor.
Did you see like him choking up?
It's just ridiculous.
It's
There's so much
ridiculous.
The theatrics is just so stupid. I cannot with this guy. He dated an actress, so he learned everything from her. Rosario Dawson. Remember Rosario Dawson, who was like, I don't know, she was in Men in Black 4 or something. I don't know. but yeah, that's where he's like, teach me your ways.
Well, and then sometime during the 24 hours, his staffer was arrested for carrying a gun onto Capitol grounds. So it was just I don't know. There was no bill on the floor to filibuster, you guys. This was the most pointless exercise. And so the people that are calling him heroic, the people that are saying that he accomplished, I don't know what it is that they say he accomplished, except that he broke this record, which who gives a shit, right? But like, I don't know. This is what Democrats want, according to some polling, which you'll see, and according to Larry O'Donnell, who is like overcome by this display.
As we go forward here, when you think of today, I mean, today was already feeling like a turning point for me, and maybe it's my experience working in the Senate that makes me so Senate focused. But what I saw Cory Booker do in those 25 hours on the Senate floor is unlike anything I have ever seen there before. And it felt to me like, aha, here it is. Here's the Democratic voice. Here's what the opposition sounds like. That Cory Booker found that voice, delivered that voice, is that voice, and was that leader out there today. And every Democratic senator who supported him and helped him by asking questions so that he could rest his voice for a minute or two, every one of them was better on the Senate floor today because of the way Cory Booker rose to this occasion.
And then it couldn't happen on a more appropriate day, too. It was on April Fool's Day. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, we're being punked, right? This is all, I can't, I cannot take these people seriously. I have to read what Spencer, our Indian correspondent, wrote this morning to our bosses. I have to. This is it's the greatest thing. He was like, look, to our bosses, he said, I don't feel like working today, so I'm going to stand in my office and yell at no one about nothing for 24 hours straight in hopes that you will think I'm a hero for it. And I was like, and then ask the American people to pay for your retirement. Because that's essentially what Cory Booker did. That's what he did.
Just literally no one had remembered that Cory Booker is a thing. And this was his way to say, hey, you guys, remember me?
I'm not going to actually do any work. I'm just going to stand here and then tell you I didn't pee or poop all day for 24 hours straight. And I'm just going to, with crazy eyes. And then everybody needs to call me a hero. What is going on with our elected representatives?
It was so dumb, you guys. So pointless and dumb. So pointless and dumb.
And he got paid for it. He got paid to do that.
We paid for that.
Right. Good Lord.
We paid for that. And you know what? I can think of a lot better uses for my money than spending it on Cory Booker's stupid floor speech. Like, for example, spending it on trees.
You should spend it on trees.
Or bushes or plants or flowers or there's so many different things that you can get from fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks. It's the largest online nursery, so the choices are endless. It's why they have over 2 million happy customers, because they make it so easy. Like, you can figure out based on where you live what stuff is going to grow the best. I now feel, since we've gotten our azaleas, which are absolutely beautiful, and now I feel like we fit in a little bit better here in our neighborhood, which is filled to the brim with azaleas. Like, everybody has them, and now we have them too. And so I feel like we belong now. They're absolutely beautiful, and I could not be happier with them. And you too will be happy with no matter what you get from fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks. Right now for spring, because this is of course the best time to plant things, you can get up to 50% off of select plants at fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks and an extra 15% off your first purchase when you use code CHICKS. Again, it's fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks. Code chicks.
We have a troll. We have a troll. Yeah, Randy. Randy's calling us Dizzos. What is a Dizzo? What's a Dizzo? Yeah, hey Dizzos. Republicans have done the same thing, he said. Randy.
Yeah, they've done it like to filibuster something.
That's right.
So
God bless you, Randy. What seriously? What is it? What is a Dizzo? What is a Dizzo?
Is it Randy W?
Yeah, I think so. God bless him, living in his mom's basement. Got to get that Cheeto dust off you, Randy.
I can't. I'll try.
Anyways.
It's Randy W. People are saying it's Randy W. So I need to ban Randy W. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty easy. Okay. So he's gone. Bye. So I made another mistake. In addition to the mistake that I made in our headline calling Senator Banks representative and not senator, I also put a video completely out of order. So we're going to go back to the Cory thing in just a second. But first, we're going to go back to the whole Wisconsin thing also for a second.
We're because I did think the left. Back and to the left. Yeah.
So I'm sorry for misordering things, but there is this moment, and I don't think they realize it, but see what you take away from this little exchange between Jake Tapper and Kara Swisher about the Wisconsin election. Listen.
About saving humanity. It's just an ego trip.
Well, what's interesting about it is you heard anytime anybody brings this up, a Republican will say, well, what about J.B. Pritzker and what about George Soros and what about this, what about that? And I guess the answer is you don't see George. First of all,
George Soros
you don't see them out there talking.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Oh my God.
They might be giving money to organizations, this and that, and people can criticize that if they want. But the idea that like, oh no, I am going to tell these voters, forget like hiring Scott Walker to do it or somebody on the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to tell them.
Right. No, he has to suck up all the oxygen. There's only one other person that needs more attention is Donald Trump. And
okay, so there's a difference, right? Like they can give tons of money and they can hire protesters and they can do all this stuff and insert themselves how the Democrats see fit, right? But if he's a billionaire and he's out there trying to do good things and get waste and fraud and abuse out of the system, that's not okay.
Well, to me, I took it as they want their billionaires to donate a shit ton of money in the shadows and without any transparency. But because Elon's out there rallying the crowd and talking and being transparent and open, that's somehow worse.
Yeah.
What?
And the stuff he's doing is like, that's the stuff that helps the American people. But yeah,
I could not believe that they said that out loud.
And they always think they can make the rules, and they always make amendments to the rule book. We've been dealing with this for 16 years. It's like, we can't keep up with the rule book. It's constant with them. You don't get to do that anymore. The American people have spoken. You don't get to, you don't even have the rule book. We have the rule book now. It's our rule book.
Okay, so that was a little bit going back to Wisconsin, but now we're going back to Cory because I screwed up. And so one of the things that we do need to be aware of, we can make fun of Cory all we want, right? Like we can say, and it is true that it was a pointless exercise, but it is the kind of spectacle that Democrats have been craving. So Frank Luntz, for example, hosted a focus group these were Democrats who were angry with Democrat leadership. They are the ones that you would presume are polling and saying Democrats suck. That's why their polling is so low. And so what they told Frank Luntz is, this is what we want. We want people to do Cory Booker type things. We want this kind of attention to be brought to our ideology.
Our angst.
Yeah, this is the way they want to do it. And then there was, I think it was Senator Coons, was it? I could be wrong. No, Chris Murphy. I'm sorry, Chris Murphy. He was saying 54, and this was like this was in the morning. So he'd only been at it for like 11, 12 hours or something. And Chris Murphy said that at that point, there were 54 million likes on the live stream. So people were tuning in. They might've been tuning in to make fun. I don't know. But regardless, he was saying that there were 54 million likes.
I mean, people still tune into Howard Stern too,
They do?
Yeah, I mean, people watch him and listen to him. So, I mean, this is what my point is that it's kind of like what you just said. Are they tuning in because they are just curious to see Cory Booker and to make fun of him? I mean, I would be tuning in because we have a show, or I'm just interested. If I didn't have a show, I'd be interested to see what a complete moron this guy is, and I'd be making fun of him. So I don't know about the 54 million. It could be.
But it was likes, not just watchers. It was people that said, this is great. I like this. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if this is what Democrats want, they want more drama. I just don't think that's going to work for them. If this is the tactic that they want, it's not actually doing work. And this is why they lost to begin with, is because we are the party of let's actually get some shit done. They're the party of let's just complain and protest and go burn crap down. There's a difference. We are not the same.
It's true. And there is some question about, was it really 54 million likes, or was that like a robot type of situation? Because that's a lot of people individually.
Yeah,
like that just seems very, very
sus.
Yeah. Like somebody's saying 54 million bots, it could very well be bots. I don't know. Okay, so let's move on to some other things because there are plenty of other things to get to. There was a very interesting thing that happened in the House yesterday, and that is that about 9 Republicans joined in with Democrats to basically give themselves the ability to work from home, to vote from home. And this was led in part by Anna Paulina Luna. Unfortunately, Tim Burchett was one of the people that voted with the Democrats. That was a huge, huge, huge disappointment.
Big disappointment.
Yeah. And this all came about because it's like somebody, I can't even remember which representative it is, but somebody just gave birth and they were like, this is, BS that I can't vote at home. I have to like leave behind my baby and I'm breastfeeding, blah, blah, blah. And doing all this, complaining about the fact that her job requires her to be in person to vote. And it has required people to be in person to vote since the beginning of time.
Right.
That's part of our Constitution, right? And so the fact that they did this is kind of annoying. Mike Johnson, was super mad about it, said, well, now we can't vote on all of the things that we were supposed to actually get done. Like as Nick Sorter pointed out, instead of implementing Doge cuts, instead of codifying Trump's EOs or reining in rogue judges, Congress is focused on making it easier for themselves to vote from home instead of showing up to work.
Yeah.
So there was some serious anger about this.
I'm angry about it. It's
I
not
am too.
okay. Yeah, these people, if you can't do the job, don't freaking do it. I'm sorry. And to the lady that just had a baby, I mean, I've had a baby, you've had babies. Like we worked. It's like, and if you can't do the actual job that you're wanting to, don't do that.
Don't run.
Find another job. Find another freaking job.
Right. And if you know that part of your job requires you to be in person to vote, then do your family planning at another time.
Right.
But you signed up for this.
Right.
You wanted the job. You promised Americans that if they elected you, you would be there to do the job. And now you're whining that you can't show up.
Don't pull the childbirth card. Come on.
Exactly.
Like
so
don't be doing that.
These are the folks these are the GOPers who voted alongside Luna, Burchett, Lalata, Kiley, Vandrew, Stube, Miller, Lawler, McKenzie. And it is a big bummer. I think Tim Burchett was just like, well, I mean, new moms, new parents should have 12 weeks where they can vote by proxy. No. It's never been that way. It doesn't need to be that way now.
I don't agree with that.
So
I'm disappointed in every single one of these people.
Yeah. I mean, and Nancy Mace, to her credit, put this really well. She said, as a woman and as a mom, I want to make it on my own merit, just like my male colleagues. I oppose all proxy voting. We have a constitutional duty to show up to Congress and work for the people that we represent.
She's right.
She's absolutely right.
She's 100% correct. Yeah.
So that happened. And now all the important stuff is shoved off to the side to be voted on at a later day. I think they might be on a 2-week recess at this point, which is just infuriating.
It must be nice for them.
Gosh.
Yeah. Enjoy your money that we're giving you while you're on vacation.
It's just infuriating.
Where are these people?
There's also an interesting new discovery from Doge, and that is that the U.S. Institute of Peace deleted a terabyte of financial data linking them to funding the Taliban. And thanks to the fact that Doge employs engineers and software folks, they were able to recover the entire archive.
Of course they were. Mm-hmm.
So not only did they do it, which is obviously bad enough, but then they tried to hide their tracks.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And Elon's nerds are like, hold my beer. We're going to find that. Oh yeah, we found it. You think you can get it past us? You can't.
Gosh.
And
people are still trying to defend this nonsense.
Right. And it's called the Institute of Peace.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Wow. Yeah, they are trying to defend it. Shame on these people. Shame on these people out there protesting and saying this is the stuff that they want.
Right.
Okay.
They're just so clueless. They are so freaking clueless.
They're not just clueless, they're brainwashed, Mock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've bought in.
Mm-hmm.
They have bought full into all the fear mongering. It's just nonsense. Jessica Tarlov was on the 5 yesterday, and Elon Musk called in, or he like video conferenced in or whatever. And so she, the Greg Gutfeld gave her an opportunity to ask Elon, because she's been constantly accusing him of a lack of transparency and like shutting down stuff that shouldn't be shut down and firing people that shouldn't be fired. So she asked him outright, and he answered her, and it was perfect. And here is how that went.
Liberal Tesla lover here. My sister has 2 in her family, so have not thrown any Molotov cocktails recently. But I wanted to talk to you about what Doge has been doing. So you've been making cuts to a lot of the agencies that have open investigations and regulatory battles with your companies. At the same time, you continue to get billions in government contracts. Tesla gets billions in subsidies. How do you explain that to the American people?
Well, everything that Doge does is an open book. So I think the most transparent the most transparent organization in government ever. Every single Doge action is listed on the Doge.gov website. It's also listed on the X handle. So if anyone has a concern about any one of those actions, they can bring that up. They can raise that. And I do want to say, sometimes we make a mistake. Nobody bats 1,000. We will at times make a mistake through will act very quickly to correct it. I am under such an extreme spotlight, so much scrutiny, that it's literally impossible for me to get away with anything nefarious. And obviously, nor do I wish to. So this is a case where we have radical transparency. We're actually willing to admit that we do make mistakes. Often people are not willing to admit they make mistakes, but we are. But we want to emphasize we fix them quickly, and we're trying to do the right thing for the American taxpayer, for the American people. And I think history will be the judge that what we've done here and what we're doing is a very good thing for the strength and future of America.
I mean, do you ever see Soros do this?
Right?
Does Soros go on the 5 and answer questions?
Yeah,
I think not.
Exactly. Did you see her face the entire time?
Yeah,
she was just like,
them. There's such disdain. Well, her face is like fixed like that. Like that's just her face. She's constant RBF. Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he told her what's what. And to her credit, I will say that she posted that clip. And I was surprised by it because I was like, you kind of looked bad there, but okay, good for you for sharing it. So that's great. Interesting story because, you know, we haven't talked about Signalgate. I feel like that has kind of gone away for the most part. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be hearings or investigation, whatever, but thankfully it's not a huge story in the news right now. But then yesterday this broke, and that is that Mike Waltz, along with other members of Trump's National Security Council, apparently have conducted very sensitive government business over Gmail.
God, stop. Stop.
I mean, at this point, you guys, Waltz may need to go. I'm just saying.
Do they not have like onboarding for these people? I mean, just tell these people, listen, no personal email, no Gmail, no Hotmail, no AOL, you know, like
this is
no
not
dial-up,
hard.
no any of this stuff. Okay. Like when I worked in pharma, I did that for 20 something years. I wasn't allowed to use whiteout. I mean, I wasn't.
Oh my God.
I was like, permission to pee, boss. I mean, remember when I got into radio? I like seriously, did I not ask our boss? I was like, can I have permission to pee, boss? I mean, I had to be reprogrammed because I can't believe our national security advisor doesn't know that he probably shouldn't use Gmail. There are private companies out there that they program their people like from the very start. They have onboarding and they're like, here's 2 weeks of onboarding. Here's what you can and cannot do. He's the national security guy. Like, this is what thing. Listen, I like him.
This is really bad.
I do. I like him. He's also a very good looking man. He's easy on the eyes. I like him. To
each his own.
I just don't understand this.
I don't either.
I don't get it. How do they not know this?
And I know there's some people going, okay, but Hillary, which I totally get it. And Hillary did not face consequences. I get that. But still, just because Hillary did it and she sucked does not mean that we shouldn't be calling out when our people suck.
Right. But I also feel like everybody should have learned from Hillary.
Right. You know? Exactly.
Like, our people should be looking at Hillary going, we'll never do that. So
we're better than that.
Of course we are. I would hope.
I thought
it's Gmail. I mean, it's like, it's not secure, you guys.
If we hear next week that freaking government business was done on Facebook, I'm going to lose my shit.
I'm going to lose my shit too. I'm just going to lose my shit. I can't. Oh, but it was done. Listen, it was done on Facebook Messenger, so it's secure.
Right.
Okay.
I can't. So anyway, that's a thing that is in the works. So you're probably going to hear more about that, I would imagine. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Also, there's been a development in the whole Luigi Mangione story, and that is that Pam Bondi has decided that she is going to seek the death penalty in his case, and I'm fine with that.
I am too. I'm fine with it too.
Totally fine with that.
It's either that or we pay for him in jail for the rest of his life. So what's the point? Why does he get 3 squares and he gets to get a PhD or whatever in prison? I just don't see the point. Like, just the death penalty is fine with me.
Especially in a case that is as clear cut as this one seems to be.
It's on camera. Like we get, what I mean?
Yeah. So that is an interesting storyline from yesterday. This another storyline from yesterday that was also interesting is this one about there was a hearing yesterday, and I don't have clips from it because there were just so many. I don't even know how I would have sifted through them all. But there was a hearing on basically censorship and that horrible singing psychopath that was like momentarily the minister of truth under Mayorkas.
Yes.
Remember that chick?
Yes.
She was there to testify. And then
did she sing?
Taibbi.
Did she sing?
She did not sing.
Oh.
But Matt Taibbi was also there to testify and put her in her place in many ways. And then Michael Schellenberg tweeted about this story, which was absolutely incredible. The FBI said it did not interfere in the 2020 election, but it did. It tricked Twitter and Facebook into censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story. And now there are newly released chat messages that show the FBI issuing a gag order after an employee accidentally confirmed its authenticity. So all this nonsense, just don't forget about the 51 signees of that letter that were all part of the intelligence community. It was all bullshit, and it was total election interference. And I cannot believe that people aren't going to jail for this.
Well, some of us did not forget. And maybe people will go to jail for it. I don't
hope
know.
so, man.
I'm still holding out hope. I'm still holding out hope that Fauci goes to jail.
That would be great.
I still have hope, you guys. I'm still
Hang
hopeful.
on to it. Hang on to it.
Over here.
So Tim Walz, who you may know from such things as doing a lot of weird things with his hands and being the governor of Minnesota, it has an interesting person that is now vying for his position, and that is none other than Mike Lindell. He is considering a run for governor of Minnesota.
Oh, okay. All right.
Our friend Mike Lindell from My Pillow, one of our longest time sponsor of the show.
Our first. He was
thinking about a run.
He was our first. And I like him. I really like Mike
man.
Lindell. He's a really good man. I have nothing bad to say about this man. So if he wants to do it, listen, he ran a great company. He has run a great company. So why not? Go for it.
Yeah, we'll see. And speaking of people running for governor, we've talked about the rumors that Casey DeSantis may be making a run for governor in Florida, and Governor DeSantis was on with Dana Lash, and she asked him point blank the question, is Casey going to run? He proceeded to put on his tightest politician hat to avoid answering that question for as long as he could. So what you're about to see is her asking the question and then him doing all the politician speak, which I've sped up. Okay. I've sped it up so that we wouldn't have to sit through it in real time. And then the end when she presses him on it again. That's what you're about to see. Here's how he ultimately answered the question.
I hope Florida is great. And is the First Lady of Florida going to run for governor?
So on Hope Florida, this is her initiative. She came up with this, and it's really a frontal attack on Lyndon Johnson's war on poverty approach. Instead of having folks working in the government trying to get people on programs, we've transformed their roles to be navigators, try to navigate people in need to all the resources available in society outside of government. We embrace the faith-based community. We embrace our charitable organizations, businesses that want to help their individual volunteers. And so just in less than 2 years, she's gotten 30,000 people off welfare and saved the state $100 million. And I would say that I look at a lot of these politicians that have been in office for 20 years, just that achievement alone is more than what most of these folks ever accomplished. And so Rush Limbaugh said at one time that he's always worried about the spouses pulling the principal to the left.
Yes.
And with Casey,
so there's
he said
a chance.
She's more conservative than you.
So there's a chance. Yes. Last word, Governor. Yes.
You're saying there's a chance.
All right. There it is.
Okay. There's a chance.
That's a yes. To me, that was about as yes of a yes as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Right
You're
now.
not going to get a yes right now, but yeah, she's going to do it.
She's going to run. So that's going to be interesting because with Byron, that's going to just be really, really interesting because lots of people like Byron, but lots of people really love Casey. And so how that is going to shake out, I have no idea.
It's not even that. I think lots of people just like Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
And they want a continuation of are you kidding me? Yet they are married. So
right.
It's like, of course, it'd be a continuation of Ron DeSantis. So if they like the way things are, they don't want to shake up. They live in Florida. I mean, this is the thing. They'd be like, okay, let's just vote for her. because it's a continuation. A lot of people will be doing that. Not everybody, but
not everybody. People here. Some people are saying,
people
I'm
like
voting for Byron. I like Byron. Somebody else says Florida hates Byron. So I don't know. I'm not in Florida, so I'm not on the ground there to be able to know exactly what the pulse is. But
you know what you'd get with her.
Yeah.
And it would be more of the same.
If I were in Florida, I would absolutely be voting for Casey over Byron. I like Byron a lot, but I don't know what he's done for Florida. And I know exactly what DeSantis has done. And I would absolutely take his wife for sure, knowing that he is going to be right by her side,
saying,
helping
do
her.
this, do that.
Yeah. I would be all about it. We need to talk for a moment because you sent me this clip that was so awesome of Senator Kennedy talking about the number of nationwide injunctions that these radical judges all over the country have ordered against Trump's policies. It is so egregious, the number. And Senator Kennedy highlights that very well in this clip.
27 universal injunctions were issued in the 20th century. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right, Senator.
But 86 of them were issued against President Trump in his first term. Is that correct?
Unreal.
I don't know the specific number, but they were a high number.
And so far in President Trump's second term, 30 universal injunctions have been issued against him. Have they not?
Senator, I don't have a specific number, but that sounds about right.
Most of the universal injunction has become a weapon against the Trump administration, has it not?
Yes.
I mean, can you
ridiculous.
Even 30 in his second term? He's been in office for like 2 days. And they've had that many.
It's so, and that's so bad if we lose House seats, you guys. Elon was right. If we lose the House, there will be nothing but lawsuits, impeachment inquiries. I mean, it's just going to be endless, and we won't have our agenda, and it will really, really suck.
It's judicial warfare is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. I mean, they have failed at everything else. They've held him up. I mean, they've slowed things down, but it is judicial warfare, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to slow us down.
Yeah, it's just, oh my gosh, it makes me so mad. All right, following up on a story that we talked about earlier in the week, and that is that Bill Maher was set to meet President Trump, and that meeting has now happened. Kid Rock was on Fox yesterday because he was also there. He's the one that set it up. So he gave a little teaser as to how it went.
Tell us what happened from start to finish in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds, I went on Bill's show. I went on his podcast, and I said, man, you know, nothing happens if people don't break bread together and meet face to face. He's been one of the president's hardest critics. And we came to dinner, me, Bill, Dana White, and it could not have been better. Everyone was so surprised, so pleasant. The most shocking thing to me was, you know, Bill's obviously a very big liberal, been very hard on the president, but he's donated a lot of money to other politicians. You know, you've had Biden, Clinton, Obama, everybody. He had never been to the White House, and the president was so gracious. He took us up to the private residence. We saw the Gettysburg Address in the Lincoln bedroom, and I was like, you've never been here, Bill? And I was like, how about this? President Trump, you know, extending this olive branch, and we talked about things we had in common, you know, ending wokeness, you know, securing the border. You know, the president was asking him what he thought about policy, you know, going on with Iran and Israel and things. It just meant, it blew my mind. It was, I was, you know, very, very proud.
I love that.
I know. And Bill tweeted about it saying, hey, everybody, thank you for all the interest in my dinner with the president last night. I promise all will be revealed on the next Real Timers on April 11th. As it's April 1st today, no one would believe what I said today anyway.
I mean, the fact that Trump is the president that invited him to the White House, I think that's pretty symbolic, don't you think?
I love that. I love that.
And it's always different when you meet somebody face to face. We've come to grips with that in our career as chicks on the right. People will say awful things. They'll, you know, assume things about you, and then they meet you in person. Or you ask them to meet you in person. Sometimes they won't do it because they don't want to know the real you.
Right.
You know? But when they meet you in person, they're like, oh, you're not so bad. I actually like you. Damn it. I like you.
Well, I for one will be tuning in to, I've got to figure out where this real timers show is and when it is, because I want to hear about it from Bill's perspective. Very, very much looking forward to that. Another story to follow up on is this whole idea of a third term for President Trump. We played some clips of him joking about that yesterday and trolling everybody about it. And now Speaker Johnson is starting to get the questions as well. He is a constitutional lawyer by trade. And so here is what he said about the possibility of a third Trump term.
President Trump this week in an interview with my colleague Christine Walker said that when he repeatedly brings up the idea of running for a third term, that he is not joking. You are a constitutional law expert. Is there a legal constitutional path for him to seek a third term? And would you support him if he went down that road?
Well, I just told everybody to read the Constitution. There's a constitutional path. You have to amend the Constitution to do it, and that's a high bar. The president and I have talked about this, joked about it. He's joked about it with me on stage before. We take him at his word. I understand why so many Americans do wish that he could run for a third term, because he's accomplishing so much in this first 100 days that they wish it could go on for much longer. But I think he recognizes the constitutional limitations, and I'm not sure that there's a move about to amend the Constitution. Yeah.
Look at the height difference with the two people on the left.
It's like a whole person.
Right? Like that is so significant.
It really is. I know. It's crazy.
But anyway, that's what he said about that it would require. The only other method that I've heard could be a thing is if JD Vance won, and then
bowed out
the reign. Yeah.
Right. Bowed out.
So, but I don't even know how that would work, because the vice president would normally be the one. Could he run on a JD Vance ticket as vice president? I have no idea. But that's the other.
We just need to stop talking about this crap and just let him do his job. You know what I mean? Just do your freaking job, which he's doing. But everybody is so fixated on this because they're trying to find the next new shiny thing to be afraid of, rather than focusing on all the good things that he's doing. And I think this is part of the reason that he trolls them. But it's just so stupid. So dumb.
Once again, I have a video completely out of order. So I did not do well this morning, you guys. Did not do well. But back to the whole judges out of control and the judicial warfare. Newt Gingrich he was in a hearing about this yesterday, and he gave a great opening. Here's just a little piece of it.
Firms. Clearly, a majority of Americans believe that no single district judge should be allowed to issue a nationwide injunction. And I think that when you look, my judgment as a historian, this is clearly a judicial coup d'etat. You don't have this many different judges issuing this many different nationwide injunctions, all of them coming from the same political ideological background, and just assume it's all random efforts of justice. This is a clear effort to stop the scale of change that President Trump represents. And I agree, a lot of this stuff can be fought out. Some of it should be fought out in the Congress, but it shouldn't be micromanaging the executive branch on national security issues by random single judges who have no standing, they have no particular knowledge, they haven't been in the room, they don't know what the consequences of what they're doing are, and they put both Americans and the nation at risk when they intervene to become basically alternative presidents.
That's
you
right.
now have potentially 677 alternative presidents, none of whom won an election.
That's right. He's absolutely right. When was this? Did he do that? When did he say that?
Yesterday.
That was yesterday? He looks good.
He does look good.
He looks good. He was looking kind of thin there for a while. I was getting really concerned about him because sometimes, when you get old and thin, I start freaking out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he looks a little meatier. He looks ruddier, like back to his ruddy self.
Right. Back to his newt self. And I like that. He looks healthy. And I'm glad to see that he's saying the things. He's speaking some truths. I like it.
Yep. It was good. And there's never a bad moment with Karoline Leavitt. She is just so good at her job. And there was all this talk yesterday about how there was a mistake made, that we're sending people to El Salvador who shouldn't be going there. And Democrats are just hell bent on defending gang members. I it's a weird hill to die on, but this is what they've chosen to do. And so Karoline was asked about that yesterday, and she laid down the facts.
Jeff. Just changing subjects for 1 second. The administration has expressed a complete confidence in how all the deportation flights to El Salvador were conducted. But now that the administration has conceded that there was an error of one Salvadoran national, will there be any reviews conducted? And does the president express any thoughts on the one error that was disclosed in court last night?
Well, first of all, the error that you are referring to was a clerical error. It was an administrative error. The administration maintains the position that this individual who was deported to El Salvador and will not be returning to our country was a member of the brutal and vicious MS-13 gang. That is fact number one. Fact number two, we also have credible intelligence proving that this individual was involved in human trafficking. And fact number three, this individual was a member, actually a leader of the brutal MS-13 gang, which this president has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Fact number four is that foreign terrorists do not have legal protections in the United States of America anymore. And it is within the president's executive authority and power to deport these heinous individuals from American communities. It is a promise he campaigned on. It is a promise he is keeping. And every single person in this room should be grateful for that, considering especially MS-13 is very prevalent and prominent here in the District of Columbia, in Maryland, and in Virginia. And the president, the attorney general, everyone who has been involved in these operations is focused on eradicating these criminals and terrorists from our communities.
I wonder if she winds up. She winds up in her head. You know, she does like a wind up and then you get pow, like when she gets out there. Because like you can see something going on in her head when she's sitting there listening to all the dumbasses that are asking her questions. There's something going on in there, a lot going on. But she's just like, God, I have to answer you again.
And she just never, there's never any hesitation like there was with me just now, right? I mean, when she speaks, it is as if she is reading a script when she's not.
Yeah.
Like she's so good at her job.
And there's no binder. Remember the binder?
No, I mean, there is a binder, but she doesn't rely on it.
But do you remember the flipping of the binder and the absolute colossal dumbassery that was the last one?
Oh
she couldn't even speak.
She was worthless.
Awful. Yeah.
I wish there was a way to have some sort of a press secretary cage match, just a competition of them answering questions and just having it on display how different they are.
All we have to do is just take old video and the present video, and there's no contest. There's just,
I would love to see them answer the same question back to back. You know what I mean?
It's like putting a lightweight and a heavyweight in a match. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no match there.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's awesome, as we just displayed. And the results at the border, speaking of deportations, the results at the border continue to be absolutely incredible. There is just a couple hundred of people that they're encountering at the border per day, per week, compared to literally thousands per day. I mean, the numbers are astronomical. And Brett Baer was answering a question about that on one of the Fox shows yesterday. Here he is.
This is a big change.
It's a stunner, Bill. It really is. And for all of the talk, remember, of President Biden saying, I've done all I can do, and the administration and the Biden administration saying you have to have congressional action and a piece of legislation to be able to change the numbers on the border. What we've seen just in a few weeks is the numbers have changed significantly by the executive actions of the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Yep. We just needed a new president.
That's it. Oh my God. And again, Democrats will not give him a win for this. They won't even credit him for this.
And I'm glad that he brought up what they used to say, because we've got a clip from Kamala and from Biden, which I'll just let play, together, because just remembering what freaking liars they were is incredible.
Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk.
Oh my God.
Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump.
Okay.
And his Republican friends.
Can you even?
Moron. Yeah. And I would really like to ask Texas Democrats how they feel about that. Because it's secure at the Texas border. It is for all intents and purposes. So how do they feel about that? You know, because there are a lot of all the libs living in Austin. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, no one is talking about it. It's so weird.
Silence.
So weird.
Uh-huh.
Last clip about deportations and numbers of them. This was just a super, super funny clip, and I'm not even sure when it's from, but it is in a Senate hearing, and somebody's being questioned who is very, very much against deportations and thinks it's super mean for Trump to deport, potentially millions of people. And so he got really good. Check this out.
Immigration activist doesn't know how to react when Senator Tillis confronts him with reality.
How many illegal immigrants being deported by the new administration would you find objectionable? Mr. Melnick, I'll ask you, 1 million?
I think 1 million would be a disaster.
2 million?
I think that is enough that would have severe negative ramifications.
I'm not reading what Trump intends to do. I'm reading exactly what President Barack Obama did. Yeah. So you said President Obama was immoral and inappropriate to deport those 1 million people. Is that what I heard you say?
There were many people
it's a yes, no question. I would really appreciate it to say, if you would go out and say that the President Obama did a horrible disservice to those people he deported, and he's as wrong-minded as every other Republican who said we've got to secure the border, deport people, because you can't have one being okay and the other one not being okay.
I mean, they can because they're Democrats, right? This is what they do. They're hypocrites, sir.
Yeah. I love that. That was such a snap moment.
And did you see what a beta that dude was?
Oh my God, so soy.
It's like he was
soy.
Like a 12-year-old wearing his dad's suit. Good Lord.
All right, moving on to Senator Jim Banks. Senator Jim Banks. I made the mistake in the headline. He was walking through the Capitol, was getting, bombarded with questions, as all of our congressional folks do from time to time. This person who was chasing him down, trying to ask a question, was actually a fired federal employee. So one of the people impacted by the DOGE cuts. And he was asking Jim Banks what he's going to do about it, essentially. And here's how Jim responded.
I was a worker at HHS. I was fired illegally on February 14th.
Illegally.
There are many people who are not getting social service programs, especially people with disabilities. Are you going to do anything to stop what's happening?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it? I deserved it.
Dude,
wow.
sad.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Why did I deserve it?
Because you seem like a clown.
Okay, sir, you shouldn't have said that.
You shouldn't have said that. Well, we're playing it. It's being played all over the place. His face.
And he posted this as his new profile photo.
It's the greatest. Seriously, though. If you've ever been laid off from a job, okay, just due to cutbacks or what, and let's just say cutbacks. Your company's not making enough money. They have to lay off 100 people. Would you go, like a couple months after, would you go and harass the CEO, COO, CFO of your company, harass them and tell them it's illegal what you did? It's illegal. Would you do that and put it on camera?
Or not even the CEO, but just like a random VP in the company.
Manager, like some rando manager in the company. Would you do that? Would you? Because you're not unhinged. You wouldn't do that because that happens in private sector companies. People have to do layoffs because there's not enough money because they go broke. Stuff happens, they have to do layoff. Could you imagine doing that? I mean, that's essentially what this Yahoo is doing. He looks like an idiot. He is a clown. He is.
Clown. Perfect word for him. Yep.
No, and Luke, I know, Luke, you say he's an asshole for that. I don't think he was an asshole. I think he actually is. The guy was being a clown. You don't get to do that. You don't, because he was laid off for a reason. There's a reason. We're broke. We can't afford to pay you, dude. Go find another job. And the thing is, I would imagine, just presumably, he's getting severance. So instead,
well, they were all supposed to get like their 9 months or whatever if they just would have resigned.
So he should be taking the time, getting his severance that we're so happily paying him right now, and looking for a job. That's what he should be doing rather than doing this.
I know we said we were mad at Tim Burchett because of his vote with Democrats yesterday to allow proxy voting, but I saw this video before I knew about that. So we're still going to play this video. And also because he actually says his own name in it. And I thought, okay, well, now we know how to pronounce it, because we were arguing, is it Burchett? Is it Burchett? We didn't know. Now we do. Here he is. Right here.
Everybody, Tim Burchett, just stepping out of the gym this morning. It's about 7:26. I know everybody thinks I'm naturally this buff, but you have to work at it. You got to work at it every day. Let's go get him.
Go get him.
Tim Burchett. People are mad at him on Twitter, though. I'd say like half thinks that this is great. The other half is like, everybody that serves the American people, they need to stop making these videos. They need to stop doing.
Really? Are you seeing a lot of people saying that?
Yeah. I saw some people on Twitter, like a lot of people on Twitter yesterday saying, listen, just enough. Go get some work done. Enough with these videos, because it used to be that they didn't do that. But there's a part of me, I'm like, okay, they're trying to be in touch with their constituents and do the whole relatable thing. And now we have the technology to do that. Then there's another part of me that's like, yeah, they need to shut up and do their jobs. So I'm kind of in the middle. You know what I mean? I'm in the middle, where as long as they get their job done, I really don't care. But if their job starts suffering, if they're in AOC and they're just doing like selfie videos and they're doing, FaceTime stuff all the time, and they're not doing anything, then I'm like, what are you doing? Are you just trying to be a celebrity? So I'm on the fence with that.
So you don't want to see him feeding his donkeys?
The donkey, I'm always down to watch somebody feed a donkey. I'm always, I'm your Huckleberry, right? But I'm telling you, that's that's the feedback that I'm seeing.
I can see that. I think if they were to maybe limit it more to, here's what I've accomplished for you today.
Right. But
that would be great.
It's nice to see that these people have lives, it's nice to see
and personalities.
Right. I like it. I do like that, as long as they're I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm seeing other people. That's what I'm trying to convey. Maybe I'm obviously not doing it well enough, but I'm telling you, that's what people are saying on Twitter. I just thought that was interesting that a lot of people are saying that.
Yeah. So, that is interesting.
Right.
Because I didn't realize that anybody was, mad about it. Because obviously that video was a perfect example of just fluff, right? Like he's not talking about any accomplishments. He literally is leaving the gym. So
but now we know Tim Burchett. We know it's Tim Burchett and not Burchett. And then Mock and I had a back and forth the other day about whether or not it's dadgum with 2 G's or dadgum with a DADGUM. And I think,
because I've been saying it's dadgum. I've been like, I want 4 dadgums when we talk to him.
And she doesn't like being wrong. So she starts putting in our chat, look, he says it's dadgum with a D. So I think it can be both. But you guys,
he just says it dadgum.
Right. You guys,
I think you're right, because I think it sounds like more like it's supposed to be short for daggone it or doggone it.
It's actually supposed to be short for GD, for God. You know what?
Really?
Yeah. I think
it's kind of backwards.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be short for that, but it's, so it's, I always say dadgum with 2 G's, and that's how I spell it. But but it's like this back and forth. It can be both. It's dad.
I have never said it ever until I started just repeating it after him. And that's the only reason that I thought it was dadgum, because that's how he says it.
So
but a lot of people in here are saying that they say dadgum and not dadgum. So
it's both.
I think it can be both.
It's both, you guys. You guys can just discuss amongst yourselves.
And they are. We're probably going to get like emails and like all kinds of like, what is the word for like figuring out the origin of words?
Etymology.
Is it etymology? Yeah.
Etymology.
We're going to get like professional etymologists writing us in and explaining the whole origin. That's what happens.
Right.
We can talk about the most controversial, like important topics, but these are the topics that grab people.
These are hot. They're hot topics, you guys. That's right.
All right, moving on, because Tim Walz is trying to be a thing. You know, he was just recently in your state. Perhaps he's still there, like on tour with Beto. And he's doing a lot of town hall-y kind of things. He's just wanting really, really badly to remain on the national stage. And Guy Benson was on Fox News yesterday talking about why this is probably a mistake.
They lost for a number of reasons. One, they were defending a failed status quo of the Biden-Harris administration. Two, they were both to Joe Biden's left and had radical positions on a number of major issues. And number three, they were both extremely inauthentic people. We saw that with Kamala Harris. We got to know Tim Walz, who lied constantly and casually about so much of his own biography. And no one believed that these were real people who shared real concerns with the majority of the American electorate, and therefore they lost. Yes, they ran a bad campaign. Yes, she didn't answer questions for as long as humanly possible. When she started doing so, it was the same pablum over and over again. He was this chaos agent who stepped in it constantly and screwed up and handily lost a debate to J.D. Vance. So there are a lot of reasons behind the loss, but the idea that a solution to those problems is Tim Walz is an interesting proposition to me.
I love that they called him a chaos agent and that they were, and said they were already in chaos. And they're like, let's go ahead and implement more chaos. Right. Yeah, let's put some fuel on that fire, shall we?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It would be hilarious if he tries to run for president and Kamala tries to run for president.
I think
that will just be amazing.
I think he will. I think he will. I think AOC will. I think you're going to see just some weird ones come out of the woodwork. Their side is going to be the Star Wars cantina scene. It's going to be like all the crazies are going to come out. And then we're going to have all the normal, upstanding, accomplished, capable people. Because that's what we are. We're capable. They're just freaks.
They are freaks. They are
It's a
freaks,
freak
man.
show, man. It is. And
And they lack so much self-awareness. They have no self-awareness whatsoever. Here is a case in point, a story told in just 2 tweets. It's from Ezra Klein, who said the administration's response to the Signal debacle is just suffused with contempt for their own voters, just an endless belief that the people who support them can be tricked into believing the laziest misdirection imaginable. That's Ezra complaining about the administration's response to the Signal debacle. Here was Ezra, who wrote a piece for the New York Times saying, fine, call it a comeback, in March of 2024 about Joe freaking Biden. And they want to talk to us. Oh my gosh. Do you hear that?
Yeah, we all hear it.
Oh my God. I don't know what that is.
It's your smoke alarm. That's your smoke alarm.
What is smoking?
I don't know, but that is your smoke alarm.
It's done now.
Okay, did Ron get it?
I guess.
But
I hope there's nothing on fire.
Yeah, that was your smoke alarm. I would make sure that everything is okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Somebody said you're too hot. You're way too hot. That's what it is.
I don't think that's it.
It's either smoke or a car. But
is everything okay?
Sometimes it's a battery issue. That's what happens with us. Like there may be.
But I mean, they're new. Like we just moved here.
Right. But that happens. That happens sometimes.
Okay. Well, I just texted him. Hopefully everything's okay. I don't know.
Or maybe he is making breakfast and he's burning something.
He doesn't make breakfast. That's
he
not
doesn't.
a thing that he does.
Okay. All right.
I'm sure he'll come and get me though if there's
a fire. Okay.
If there's some
I would
emergency.
I would hope you come and get you if there's a fire.
Right. He'll probably let me know if we need to get out.
So. Okay.
So anyway, this is the same. This is the left, right? They have no self-awareness. They're simply saying I can't believe the administration just thinks that they can pull the wool over their own side's eyes. Meanwhile, they propped up Biden for 4 freaking years.
That's so true. It's so true. It's like mind control. Really? You want to talk to us about mind control? Okay, Ezra.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of people who potentially could run for president on the Democrat side, let's all just hope that we don't have to put up with a lot more Jasmine Crockett, but that is a possibility.
Oh,
she got so good yesterday. So Daryl Issa from California just absolutely toasted her yesterday. It was a perfect moment. She was bitching about, people on the right suggesting that some of these radical leftist judges who are putting in place these nationwide injunctions, some people are suggesting that those judges be impeached, right? And she was complaining about it. And that's when Daryl Issa stepped in. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment.
The problem that we have right now is that if we continue down this road, then we will not have a rule of law, because we have people that are currently serving and they're saying things like, ignore the judge's order. What it means to have law and order in this country is that you follow the order and you go through the appeals process, even if you dislike what the judge did. Thank you, and I yield.
And I'll yield back to Mr. Issa. Mr. Issa, you had a question for me, which I'll yield to you now if you want to.
Now that there's no time left. Thanks, Eric.
Entertain it.
You're good. You're good at that, but I'll take my own time. I'll recognize myself. And I'm going to note that when Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC as we know her, filed articles of impeachment on Justice Thomas and Alito, Ms. Crockett was one of the co-sponsors along with Mr. Cohen, both members of this committee. It does seem interesting that when the shoe is on the other foot, everyone is self-righteous. And I think this is a good example. For the last 3 hours, I have had to listen to one side talking about impeachment as though it was the nature of this hearing. It is not.
God, that was so glorious.
It was glorious. I like how he's like, zip it. Zip it. Also, that shirt is impeachable.
Right? That was a Seinfeld puffy shirt right there.
That shirt. What is she thinking?
I don't know. God, it came with an extra pair of eyelashes. Like it was a side item. Yikes.
So bad.
For those who are worried about my alarm, my husband said, I don't know why they went off. I wonder if it was a test. So I'm hoping that he's not just wondering, but is actually going to check to make sure that nothing is on fire.
It's probably a battery issue. Maybe something's wrong with your batteries or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've had that happen before, and it's a battery thing.
Okay. Well, I don't know why it stopped then. We'll check into it, but
it's weird. So weird.
Unfortunately, on our own side of the aisle, we also have representatives that are less than ideal. And I know there's going to be people out here who's going to get mad that I'm saying this, but Lauren Boebert is one of those people, you guys, who I just wish was not on our team. She had the most embarrassing and cringe moment yesterday. So she was part of the JFK file hearing, and Oliver Stone was there to testify. Obviously, he's somebody that's done tons of research into the whole JFK story. And she decided to go on a line of questioning to Oliver Stone about a book that she thought he wrote, which in fact was written by Roger Stone.
Oh, no.
Here's the moment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to our witnesses for being here today. Hopefully we can stay on topic for the rest of this hearing. We seem to be wrapping up pretty close here. Mr. Stone, you wrote a book accusing LBJ of being involved in the killing of President Kennedy. Did these most recent releases confirm or negate your initial charge?
And he's like,
involved in the
when did I write this book?
When did I? President Kennedy.
I'm so uncomfortable right now. I'm so uncomfortable. God.
No, I didn't. If you
No.
look closely at the film, there's it accuses the President Johnson
No.
Okay.
of being part of a complicit in a cover-up of the case, but not in the assassination itself, which I don't know.
What do you think that he was complicit with? Yes, sir. I'll get to you.
The cover-up. Well, how about, for starters, appointing Alan Dulles, the head of the CIA, who was fired by Kennedy, to the commission itself, to the Warren Commission. And he goes to almost every meeting, and he's pretty much in charge of the Warren Commission from the beginning. Alan Dulles. That's part of the evidence that points to President Johnson's either incompetence or involvement.
Mr. Morley, I think you had something to add on that.
I think you're confusing Mr. Oliver Stone with Mr. Roger Stone.
It yet.
Oh my God!
It's Roger Stone who implicated LBJ in the assassination of the president. It's not my friend
Is that what all the
Oliver Stone.
whispers were there? I may have misinterpreted that, and I apologize for that. But there seems to be some alluding of, like you said, incompetence or some sort of involvement there on the back end. And so sorry, I'm going to move on. Mr. Morley.
I think that's a good idea.
I
Just
think
move
you
on.
should move on and then leave the room and then don't just take a couple weeks off.
And maybe don't use the word incompetence in any context for just a little bit.
Whatsoever. Don't do that.
Oh my
I
God.
am so like physically uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable right now. I really am. Make it stop. Mom. Make it stop.
I know.
Why'd you have
Okay.
to say that?
Well, because you know we
Why?
like to be fair on this program.
She's not even blonde. She's not even blonde. Oh my God.
Anyway, that happened. And then also, by the way, the people that are worried about my gas stove, it's okay. My husband says that the stove has been off for over a week because we do not, in fact, use it very much.
Oh my God. Okay.
Anyway,
everybody's worried
moving on.
about your house burning down now.
I know,
She's
everyone's
fine,
like,
guys.
get out.
She's get out of the house. Yeah. Fine.
All right, moving on. Before we get to like some juicy gossip, our juicy gossip segment, and then talks, we do have one more story coming out of San Francisco, which is absolutely insane. And it is all thanks to the ridiculous person hosting his own podcast now, Gavin Newsom. Please listen to this insane new policy.
San Francisco is launching a new speed safety pilot program backed by Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom, where how much you pay for a speeding ticket depends on who you are. And it's all in the name of equity. On its website, the City Transportation Authority goes out of its way to explain that speed safety cameras will be dispersed across San Francisco in a, quote, equitable fashion. But not everyone will have to pay the same if they get a ticket. Get this. Low-income offenders qualify for steep fine discounts, guys, up to half off. And if you're homeless but speeding in your vehicle, you can get up to 80% discount.
I swear. You guys.
What in the holy hell? What in? I can't.
Question. Could somebody identify as a poor person and then go like a bat out of hell? I'm asking for a friend. Can we do, can you do that? Because that's what they're saying. That's what they're
so much for everyone's equal in the eyes of the law. I guess it depends on how much money you have now. I mean, what are we doing?
Why do people take this guy seriously? Why at all? Seriously, like this state, California, you're a nightmare.
And you're just getting worse. You are literally getting worse by the day.
You're a
And
joke.
Meanwhile, he's just podcasting now. That's what the governor's doing. So
you're an absolute joke.
Yep. All right, I promised gossip, and we have some. So Candace Owens, who we're not necessarily followers of anymore. She's just gone a little bit off the rails.
She doesn't like Jews. I'm just saying it. What? It's just being honest. That's what we do here. She has a problem with Jews.
She does seem to have a bit of a problem
with the Jews. Yeah.
She's also her choices in people that she chooses to align with are just odd. Okay. I'm saying that as kindly as I can. But there's a TikToker who decided to basically call her out on how ridiculous it is, because she spent part of her podcast the other day lamenting about how America no longer has men of honor. We are lacking in the honorable men department, which is odd. Coming from Candace, here's why.
Hypocrisy. Last night, I was thinking about my granddad, what an honorable man he was. The saddest part of the state of affairs today in America is we do not have honorable men. We don't have honorable men anymore. We have the most despicable, disgusting men and women, people who are the most undeserving of platforms. We're disgusting. We have just become a nation that is that should hang its head in shame.
According to Candace Owens, RFK Jr. is a dishonorable man because he supports Israel. But wait a minute, is Candace Owens talking about honorable men? The same Candace Owens who's best friends with Andrew Tate, the digital pimp?
Yes.
The same Candace Owens whose other best friend is Kanye West, who wears diamond-encrusted swastikas and parades his wife around butt naked? Wait. The same Candace Owens who invited Dan Bilzerian onto her show, who basically to me is just a male prostitute and also a terrorist lover who got famous by sharing shirtless pictures of himself next to naked women. Just trust Candace, guys. She's really sad that men are just so dishonorable. Everyone is so disgusting because they're supporting Israel. But her friends are fine. They're just fine.
They're honorable even. They're super honorable. Like,
I mean,
I don't know about you, but I hang around honorable men. I think there are plenty of honorable men in this country. Yeah, we've raised an honorable man. I don't. Yeah,
they're there, but she is for some reason choosing to not find them, because if you look at who she prefers to be around, it is disgusting, horrible, gross guys.
Yeah, that do really gross things.
Yeah.
And they're dishonorable even.
I think it's fair to say that.
I think so too.
So anyway, that was a little juicy there. And then also we've got some gossip about Ellen Page, who I know goes by Elliot now. She's the one that starred in Juno, which is one of the greatest movies. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That movie, and she was so good in it, wasn't she?
So cute and good and
right?
Perfect for that role. And then she went and got crazy and became a dude and like chopped off all of her bits and just is now really weird.
She looks miserable now.
Oh my God. She is miserable. And this is what the point of this video you're about to see is. I think it was like on one of those entertainment shows, right? And the interviewer is asking her, like, you know, what gives you joy? What brings you joy right now? And she proves in her answer how much of a girl she still is.
Oh my gosh.
Find me a dude that would ever behave like this.
Goodness, what has brought me the most joy? The most joy. It's, you know, getting out of the shower and the towel's around your waist and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, there I am. I'm not having all these little moments that used to be just being in a t-shirt.
What?
It's being able to touch my chest and
she's, oh my God.
Feel comfortable in my body for probably the first time.
She doesn't seem comfortable.
Tears of joy.
Find me a dude that acts like that.
Right. She doesn't seem comfortable.
No.
I'm so incredibly sad for her.
Yeah.
There's nothing comfortable or joyful about that. She seems miserable.
I mean, she's
sad.
a girl.
And
she's always gonna be a girl.
Right. And every time I see her in an interview, she's crying.
Yeah. And it's about this. Like it's almost like it's a cover. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's so over the top how glad she is to have chopped off her own boobs. And I just don't buy it. I don't buy that it gives her joy.
I'm not buying it either. I'm not. God, somebody needs to help her.
And if you haven't seen Juno, it really is worth watching. I saw a couple of people saying they hadn't seen it. It's so good. It's such a good pro-life message.
It
really.
is.
I don't think she intended it to be necessarily, but it is. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. All right. Last bit of gossip before we get to talks. And that is Megyn Kelly, who is spilling the tea on why she and Kara Swisher are on the outs. Apparently they used to have at least somewhat of a level of respect for one another, even though they're on clearly opposite sides of the aisle.
Right.
But Megyn is spilling the tea on why she basically thinks Kara is a giant pile of shit. Her words. Here is the tea.
Went wrong. You know where things went south was she didn't like my COVID commentary once I actually did launch the podcast. I was pointing out that young people were getting myocarditis, especially young teenage men, and dying and suffering the world over. as a result of these vaccines, and it wasn't being disclosed. And I was citing Dr. Vinay Prasad, who was way ahead on this issue, was having pediatric cardiologists on his show and talking about it. She didn't like that. None of the left liked that. Unfortunately, she invited me to go on her podcast, and I agreed. That's not the unfortunate part. I said, fine, I'll do it. I was fine. And I'm fine mixing it up with people. I was scheduled to go on, I think, on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And the previous Friday, so like 5 days prior, my sister died. My sister unexpectedly had a heart attack and died at age 58. And I had Abby text her assistant to say, MK has had something personal happen. Something personal came up, and she's not going to be able to make it. This is 5 days in advance, but I knew very well I wasn't going to be doing anybody's podcast. And she responded, not the assistant, she responded and said, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And I certainly hope she'll stay off X in the meantime. Abby responded by saying, actually, her sister died. And she writes back, oh, well, I was only joking. I'm sorry, but she's a bad person. The last correspondence we had was, sure, I'd be happy to come on your podcast. Then she shits on me to my assistant and finds out that she's a shit, that I've had a death in the family, someone close to me. And does she say, politics don't matter. I'm going to shoot her a note. You know, we've had these drinks. I helped her, whatever. No. She says, oh, I was only joking. She tries to cover her own ass because she knows she's now made herself look terrible. And from that point forward, all she's done is rip on me. And frankly, vice versa. I mean, I just see her very differently now. I think she's a bad person. I think there's a kind of person that cannot put politics to the side.
There's a lot. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that. Yeah. And there's a lack of humanity in the world these days, in our country especially, but in the world, you know. And there's a lot of people like that. It doesn't shock me that an acquaintance would, I mean, listen, I've had friends, people that I love dearly, do that when they find out that I'm a conservative, let alone an acquaintance. This does not shock me at all. And yes, she's a shit.
Yeah. She's an awful person.
Awful. When you say that your sister has died, where is the humanity in that woman? Like,
and then for her immediate response to be, oh, I was just joking, and not, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Right.
Like, how is your brain organized? What in the world?
Again, we are not the same.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. If you tell me that somebody in your family dies, my brain immediately goes to, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Right.
What was her name?
Kara.
Who was she? Like, tell me about her. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Like, she is a shit.
Yeah, she is a shit. All right, let's get to some good stuff. There's a hilarious TikTok or reel or whatever from a comedian who is acting as if password reminders were a person. Okay. So she is playing herself. She has forgotten her password. This is what it would look like if the forgot password was a person.
Shit, what's my password? What? Hi, I forgot my password. What's your email? What? What's your email? Or did you forget that too? Oh, sorry. I sent you a code. Oh, I got it. It's 45367. Are you a robot? What? No. You're so fucking for real with me right now. Are you a robot? I'm literally not a robot. She's a robot. No, she's a robot. I'm a human. And show me the bicycles, bitch. Okay, I know what a bicycle is. So, okay. Try your hand at traffic lights. Traffic lights. Ow! You picked a tree. A tree is not a traffic light, you stupid fucking robot. Please, I'm not a robot. I'm gonna have to bring my colleague into this. Your colleague?
Did someone call CAPTCHA? What letters do you see?
There's literally no letters in that!
Oh, there's letters. You just can't see them with the naked eye.
What? Another one bites the dust.
Sweating.
Please, I really need these lab test results. Fine, just slide the fucking puzzle piece. Thank you. Am I in? I'm in. Oh, it's you. Thank God. Oh, yes. You have chlamydia.
Oh my God. God.
The
piece.
puzzle and the traffic lights, and then you never know if you're supposed to like click on the pole of the traffic light or just the lights, or like do you click on what if there's just like a spoke or like a kickstand and it's in its own square? Do you count that as a bicycle?
I just give up.
If you can't get into your email, you can't give up.
I just give up a lot. I do. I don't know if
then
that's
you've
just
never
me.
been locked out of your email. That's not possible because you don't give up. You have to have email.
I just give up a lot.
What do you give up on? Like what
when
have you not seen?
Like getting into medical records, I'll give up.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that because you can always call.
Right. I'm not going through 18 things to see my medical records. Sorry.
The puzzle piece I've only seen on TikTok. I've never seen it anywhere else. I don't know if it is anywhere else. I've seen it on TikTok, but nowhere else. But anyway, that was super funny. So Bobcats, we got to move on to Bobcats because obviously that's a perfect segue. I did not know that Bobcats sounded like this when they growl. They hiss like normal cats, like every member of the cat family, no matter how big or small, hisses, but growls sound very different. And this Bobcat in particular, I don't know if it's Bobcats like all Bobcats or if it's just this one, but this one sticks his tongue out when he growls, and it's such a crazy sound.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
Isn't he?
Oh my goodness. They're adorable. They're
mean,
so cute. Yeah.
I would pet 10 out of 10.
I know. I probably would pet them too.
Because they're not like lion size, they're more like lab size.
Yeah, they could still kill you, but still, I would probably try to pet them as well. They're so cute.
Oh my God, so cute. But do they all stick their tongues out like that? Or is that just that Bobcat kind of thing? I don't know. I don't either.
No.
I do know that this child has perfected how to eat cheese.
Yes. He could also just gnaw right on the block. He could just go straight to the source,
It's true. But if you want shredded cheese, there's something about the texture of shredded cheese that's nice.
It's true. Yeah. He could just eliminate. We need to teach him to eliminate the middleman, though. Just go right into the block, dude.
I did love that. And then I also loved the caption of this video of ducks. And it says, "This is about how many ducks I need to get in a row."
Oh my gosh, look at all of us.
So many ducks.
Yeah, if you've ever had ducks, oh my God, there's so many. If you've ever had ducks, then you know that my comment of the thing I'm thinking about the most is all the crap they're going to produce.
Oh yeah, that's
so
probably
much
right.
Duck crap.
Yeah. But that
slimy duck crap.
If you have ducks to get in a row, that's what it looks like. So, and then second to lastly, we have more destruction from dogs.
Rally God, Jared! Fucking hell! You know how that made me feel?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. The dude's like, what? Oh God.
Oh God, that hurt.
Oh God, that hurt. Great Dane. It's gotta be Great Dane.
Oh shit! Oh my God! Holy shit!
my gosh. I don't think I told you, but one of the insiders was here antiquing. Tammy, she was antiquing last weekend, and she came by, and I saw her. She came to my house, and Coda peed on her. This is what happens when you come to my house. So just know that you probably don't ever want to come to my house.
Like he
ever.
hiked the leg and everything?
No, he just got excited when she came over, and P just sort of he sprayed her with pee. And when you're sprayed by 185-pound dog with pee, I'm
not
like,
fun.
I'm sorry. Welcome to my house. You were just peed on. Right. Mhm.
All right, one more, and then we've got some thank yous. And this is just the sweetest thing. I may cry. So just because I keep crying every time I see it. So sweet. I think this young man, his name is Pat, and he has been managing his high school basketball team like his whole time in high school. And so they decided for the last game that they would let him play. And I think he has cerebral palsy. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that that's what it is just based on the way that he moves. You guys,
It's the greatest. I know it is the greatest, isn't it?
Who's 33? Do we have a 33 coach?
No.
Tomorrow night, I think we're going to have a number 33, Pat.
Are you serious?
You want to dress out?
Yeah.
We're going to have you start. We're going to have you be one of our captains tomorrow night. Is that all right?
Can you even? Can you even with this? Doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't.
I can't get my heart.
I know. It's just, I love that story so much.
Oh God, it's so precious. Okay, we've got
Love
some
it.
thank yous from the Ball Pit crew from yesterday. From two people. We had Curio23 who said April Fool's Day was Dad Joke Wednesday. I think he may have sent a super sticker with a joke for April Fools.
Yes.
And then Randy Craig said, to be honest, those patio chair cushions were kind of hot because we played the video of the dog humping the patio cushion.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then we heard from Kelly 1106 who said, I also think President Trump is trolling, but I think he's also getting the signal gate out of the news cycle. And he's also having fun with the third term talk.
A great point. Really great.
I thought that
point.
was good too.
Strategery.
Strategery, yes. We got Venmo from Curtis Woods, who said that wackadoodle professor, and I use that term loosely, in Michigan, doesn't need so many pronouns. We veterans have had the perfect gender neutral pronouns since 1775. Fucker. Problem solved.
I was wondering if she was going to say it.
I say it.
Yeah, she totally said it.
He also said, I have two things to say to Jasmine Crockett. First, you're an idiot. In the words of Mark Twain, no amount of evidence can convince an idiot. Second, for F's sake, take those ridiculous lashes and that cheap wig, weave, whatever the hell it is, and go away.
Yes.
Hear to that.
Hear.
And he said, for the record, Daisy, I would have paid to see you kick poached egg lady's ass.
I would have done it.
A lot of people would.
I totally would have done it. But she
would.
never took me up on it. We were going to give the money to charity. I would have done it.
And then also we have today, Kelly Weissman said, Dad Joke Wednesday, jerks. What do you call it when you have a mosquito infestation? The SWAT team. Bonus Dad Joke Wednesday. My friend fainted on a carousel. It's okay. She's coming back around. XOXO.
I love it.
And then on locals, Osuki says, I thought the left wanted to do away with the filibuster. I guess that's only when it's not beneficial to them. I despise these people. They would sell us out for a handful of beans, except that this wasn't a filibuster. This was just a rant. This was nothing.
Exactly.
But a rant.
There was nothing to filibuster. Mm-hmm.
There was nothing. Dolly Duck says, Dad Joke Wednesday, why don't cannibals eat clowns? Because they taste funny. Minnesota Solar Baby says, good morning, beautiful chicks. You and caffeine are my morning gold star. Today is National Autism Awareness Day. My beautiful daughter, Sarah Rose, who is autistic, amazing, has spoken at our state capitol against the left, raised proudly right, and a proud Trump voter, is a fan of yours as well. If you could give her a shout out, it would make this mama bear beam. She has defied every odd thrown her way. Thank you, Sarah Rose.
Sarah Rose. I love your
girl.
name. What a beautiful name.
That is awesome. And she also said, I should edit to say how amazing this chick's family is. All lifted her and I up in prayer when she had her 4th open heart surgery in July.
Wow.
4 open heart surgeries. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine. And Becca T in South Carolina says, hi, chicks. Today is my Sammy Hagar birthday. Snakes alive. I'm 55. You know you're singing it. Love you, ladies, and all your peeps on locals. Great start to my next trip around the sun. Dad joke. April 1st means spring is here. I got so excited about it that I wet my plants.
I see what you did there.
Now you.
Raymond Cromley, summer of 69, turned 18 with a full tank. Okay. Brian Brumley, I was in the Apple store when it got robbed. Turns out I was an eyewitness. Please relieve me of my legal tender.
With an I. He said I with
an I. Yep. Robin Dye, where should you save dad jokes? In a data base. You get it? Tilt-a-whirl girl. Today is my anniversary, married to my wonderful husband, Paul, for 20 years. We got married the day after my birthday, so he wouldn't forget. It worked. I love it. Leah Shalik, Israelis have bitched about the expensive American goods for decades. If Trump drops tariffs against Israel, I imagine prices for Teslas, cell phones, etc. will drop. That is good news for Israelis. Yeah, exactly. Buddha Chow 1, today is my hubby's B-Day. He is still my best friend after 34 years together. Happy birthday to the best husband ever. So sweet.
Aww.
Happy birthday to him. Avatar Ashkenazi. Well, he's literally full of shit. I'm assuming you're talking about Cory Booker.
Oh, yeah.
Leah Shalik. Spartacus. Spare of piss. Karen Elliott. All Booker did was watch West Wing season 2, episode 17. Sit the F down, Booker, and take all the seats. Cripes. Spencer said it best. Love you, chicks. I know. Spencer. Legal Nancy 321. So it's okay for the Dems to have billionaires, but not the Republicans. How is that supposed? I'm sorry, what?
That's correct.
Yeah.
She's right.
How is that supposed to make sense? It doesn't, because they're hypocrites. Nothing makes sense with them. Robert Clark, I asked my dog, what's 2 minus 2? He said nothing.
What a smart dog.
Very, very smart. Layla's life. I want to wish my daughter Layla a very happy 14th birthday. She is an old soul who loves AC/DC and wants a 1980s Chevy truck in 2 years. She is growing into a wonderful, badass conservative. Love you both. Happy birthday to Layla. She sounds awesome. I think she and Gwen would get along beautifully.
Did you see, because I see one above that from Andrea Viola. Do you not see that?
Oh my God. No, I'm so sorry. Did I skip over that? I'm sorry.
You skipped Andrea.
Andrea Viola. I'm sorry. The Senate and Congress work approximately 175 days a year and really work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Their life is cush, man.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa Raimundo. Mr. Booker went to Washington. Oh, not the name of the movie. 24 hours of grandstanding over nothing and taking our taxpayer dollars. Brilliant act of infantile behavior. More like stunning and stupid. Amen. Curio 23. What do you say to your sister when she's crying? Are you having a crisis? Are you having a cry, sis? Get it?
I love that one.
Stevie J. Congress works 154 days a year. Normal Americans work 240 days a year, not counting overtime or weekend work. No sympathy for anyone in Congress. Do the job you were elected to do. A to the men, Stevie J.
Yep.
Kristen Thompson. 5 ants rented a house with another 5 ants. Now they are 10 ants. Happy Dad Joke Wednesday, chicks. Grateful for you. Thank you, Kristen. Don Quixote, Dad Joke Wednesday. What do you call the most famous cow of all time? Legendary. She was a movie star. Happy Wednesday, jerks. Robin Dye, love the Cool Hand Luke reference, Daisy. Permission. I don't. I don't know. What was the Cool Hand Luke reference? What was it? I don't know what I said. What did I say? I don't know. You're gonna have to remind me, Robin. But okay. Mel Hope, okay. Mel Hope 9, Dad Joke Wednesday. What did the band director name his 2 daughters? Anna 1, Anna 2. Take my money. Renata Wack, Wisconsin voter. We turned our school board conservative, elected a conservative mayor, denied the schools to overspend budget by $7 million yearly.
Wow. Okay, that's great.
Bad. It's not all bad. That's good. Really, really good. Jose Rodriguez, morning from Texas. I hope the super chat finds you both well. I ordered a chicken and an egg online. I'll let you know. Thank you for your attention in this chatter. Just take my money. I love it. I'll let you know. Sherry Fox, love my chickadees. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Sherry. Jennifer Story. Just wanted to say hi and great show. My baby girl got married Saturday and is now a military spouse. She will be in Daisy's neck of the woods soon at Fort Hood. I think they call that something else now. And I still call it. Yeah, it was renamed. Taxpayer dollars paid for it to be renamed, but I still call it Fort Hood. I still plan to email, just been busy. That's so great. Well, congratulations to her. It's a cool area. I like Colleen. Marcus Drake, the person who invents a smoke alarm that can be shut off by yelling, "I'm cooking," will become an instant billionaire. So
For
true.
real.
Felipe Move. I think I said that correctly. Or Felipe Move. Hello, ladies. Don't forget that Brandon was unaware of most of what he did as POTUS. He is and was a piece of shit, but a senile piece of shit. Yes,
Fair.
Felipe. Yes.
Fair point.
You guys, thank you for all of those. We're bringing it in. Dad
you.
Joke Wednesday. We are over the hump. You guys have a fantastic day. We will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.